The following program contains adult language, poor taste in jokes, racial slurs, political slurs, slants, and all sorts of things that, if you are sensitive and have a delicate constitution, you should probably go watch Teletubbies. You were warned.
I ain't drunk, I'm just drinking.
But you're so high.
Oh man, you know I ain't high.
But you're so high.
Yeah, well I just take a little sip every now and then.
But you're so high.
You ought to be ashamed of
Stay
yourself.
drunk all
Oh,
the
come on now,
time.
you all don't feel like that.
Bam! Hey kids, welcome to part 2. No, I have no idea how many parts there's going to be to this, but it's going to be fun nonetheless. So, what do we got? Last time we left off, I said I was going to take a couple of buck modules, which I think I called BECs or voltage regulators or some crap like that. And I did take 2 of those. Yes, I used 2. And this is all they look like. I'll show you one again, just real quick. In, voltage out. That little potentiometer right there. Sorry if I didn't get that in shot. Voltage in, voltage out. That potentiometer right there goes from, I think, 10 volts to 3 or something like that. So that's what we used. I did use 2. I used one on this side and one right here. You probably can't see it, but that's okay. I dialed them both in for 5 volts because I'm going to have a lot of 5 volt regs off here. So now what we're going to do, I think the next step, I want to take anything that's 12 volts and solder it in. Because our 12 volt signal's here. The only thing I can think of that's going to be 12 volts on here, or even battery voltage as the case may be, is going to be the VTX. So I think we'll go ahead and wire a VTX in, and that way I can put the flight controller on there. I'm not going to use any of the 5 volt source off of here, and we'll just be able to run it. And as a matter of fact, I can probably run my VTX straight off of this, but shouldn't have too many noise issues. I might put a big cap on this. We've already got caps here. I might put another one in here since I've got a bunch of them, and we'll do that. Let's see. Yeah, I'll go ahead and grab one. So let me go grab that stuff. Bam, be right back. All right, we are back. The VTX I was going to use is this big monstrosity 1500 millivolt blah blah blah. I'm not going to, it's too big. I'm not going to use it. So what we are going to use is just a good old-fashioned 640 channel slammer. No big deal. So we're going to go ahead and wire in. I'm going to leave this disconnected for now. I'm going to wire this into the 12 volts. Not really sure how important it is for you guys to see this, and then we're going to leave our signal wire off, obviously. And there we go. So we'll go ahead and zap that in. Not but peanut. Let's see. Negative side. It's a really shitty angle. I have to edit this crap out. Okay. There we go. That is done. So, nothing but a peanut. So this is 5 volts coming off. I'm probably just going to cut off because I got enough 5 volt lines in here. We'll neaten that up later. Here's our voltage out. That's going to go to our Omnibus F3. So I need to put a couple more standoffs on here. Right there and right there. And then we will put our Omnibus F3 on. Okay, so let's zoom back out. Whenever you work on, whenever you work on a flight controller, whether it's a quad, wing, whatever, like I said, we're using just a nice, good old-fashioned, old-school Omnibus F3, okay? And I should be able to hit, I'm only probably going to put like 1 screw in here, because I want to get the wiring on first, because this bar isn't in the best place, that spur, so, no big deal. Always have your schematic around. Okay, so here's the Omnibus F3. It's very easy, not schematic, wiring diagram. It's very easy to follow. Let me grab a pointer. Close enough. All right, so our S-bus is going to go, our USB is here. So this is pointing down. I'm going to have to reverse the direction of this in iNav because I want my USB side sticking straight this way, okay? So, what do we got? What do we got? We got the S-bus is going to go here, the S-bus signal, and then 5 volts. And then we're going to have our propeller motor is going to go into 1. We're going to skip number 2. Our left aileron is going to go into 3, and our right aileron servo is going to go into 4. Bam, perfect. So, and then in SDA and SDL is going to be our compass. And then transmit 2 and receive 2 is probably going to be our GPS. Transmit 1 and transmit 2 over here is probably going to be our Bluetooth. 5 volt and ground outputs if we need some more. The buzzer, which I'm not going to use. Voltage battery is going to come in here, so we do need to put a wire off of our here into our VBAT and ground. So that's easy enough. Yeah, and I'm not using LEDs, so pretty easy. Video in, video out over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire a hot lead off. Actually, I'm just going to spike both wires off of here. Actually, I'll probably just use these. There's no amperage draw on this with a flight controller. That's something you got to remember. You don't have to use stinking heavy-duty wiring to transmit voltage to your voltage sensor. There we go. Bam. All right. So I'm going to cut this up, and we're going to solder this from the leads to the board. Give myself a little bit of room. And then what we're going to do also is we're going to temporarily install the servos. All right. The reason I'm doing this temporarily is I am not a wing guy. I am not a fixed wing guy. Okay. I do not have a servo center or servo tester unit. And you have to have your servos centered before you permanently mount them so you know what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our servos, just 2 9-gram Metal Gear, always get Metal Gear. I have 2 more. They're going to my buddy Ted Brock. I got to mail those to you, buddy. 2 of these Metal Gear. Always get those because when you crash, you'll strip the shit out of plastic ones. These are just good old budget Emacs, nothing fancy. And what we're going to do is we're going to have to use, I'm pretty sure, servo extensions, of course. Where are they? Here they be. Bam. Servo extensions, no big deal. So your servo is going to go from here. Let's see. Go this way. Sorry about that. Thing's too fucking big. It's going to go from here to here. Ah, might not. Wow. Might actually get away with it. We'll see. But got to remember, I'm cutting the ends off. You can use pins, but I'm not going to. You know, you could pin your flight controller. I'm not going to do that. I'm a hardwiring kind of guy. So that's what we're going to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these or not. The less intermittent connections you've got, the less shit that can go wrong at the end of the day. So what we're going to do, I'm going to have some of this mess. Flippity flip. Might not be hateful. Yeah, let's see. I don't know. I think because we have to see how easily this gets scratched up. That's why I don't give a shit. It's not worth it. And yes, I know you can pre-sand before you paint and all this other stuff. I did not. Bad JJ. Okay, so this is going to go in like meh. When I say temporarily mount, I mean literally pushing them in. That's all I'm going to do. And I don't know if it's going to fit or not. We'll put some tape over this. I'm going to run this through just for giggles and shits. Put a little bit of, we're going to put some tape over that, but that's okay. That'll hold it good enough for now. And we're going to run the other one, which I'm not going to bother getting in on camera because it's too hard to see. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. So, but if we permanently mount these without having them centered, it's very, very difficult. Now, what's cool about this particular wing is they did put in screwdriver slots. So theoretically, I could permanently mount this and slide the head on through here because the servos go through the top of the wing and then put my screwdriver in there. I could actually do it, but it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. So I'm not going to worry about control surfaces till like episode 80 of this fucking video. So, bam, here we go. Man, that's why I build quads. Shit's delicate. All right, let's see what we got. Let's do a measure. That's, hang on a tick. I'll make sure this shit, yeah, this paint ain't staying on very good. That's okay. This thing's only gonna look cool for the first flight. No biggie. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna need those. Let's see, where's our flight controller? Flight controller is gonna go this way. And so we basically have to be able to reach all the way over here. Yeah, boy, it's gonna be tight. I don't know. Such a waste to put an extension on that. This one's no problem. This one, really? Really? I might just patch wire into it because 2 of the wires are going to go up to this buck up here for the voltage. Yeah, and I need 2 of them over there too. So yeah, we'll probably do that. No big thing. So that's what we're going to do. Those are temporarily installed. Yeah, and then we got this soldered in. I'm debating on where to put my VTX. Too close to the motor is going to give us noise. I'll probably just hard mount it. Something like that. Something like that. I have not figured out how I'm running it yet. But we'll figure it out. Taint rocket science. Okay. Bam. Just like that. All right, kids. I will be right back. Bam, and we're back. Okay. So what we've done is I did use the servo extensions because we have no choice. Okay, we just have no choice. What we're going to do, however, is we're going to twist these. We're going to make them nice. We're going to hot glue them right to the sides here. One of the other things that you always want to do with servo extensions is hot glue them. Once you fit them, always, always, always make sure they're tight and hot glued together because you do not want that shit coming undone 100 feet in the air. Not good. So the other thing that we've got, so we're going to wire this one into motor output 3, this one into motor output 4, this one into motor output 1. Now, this is a good old-fashioned ESC that has a back, okay, so battery eliminator circuit. I am going to power my board not only off of the back, but also off of the buck. Back and buck, right? So the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to tag my 5 volts into the board on the rails. Okay, I'll just show you on the picture because the picture's better than my board. Okay, so we're going to take our motor signal for the motor is going to go here. Positive from that motor, which is this guy right here, your battery eliminator circuit, is going to go to that rail, and your negative is going to go to that rail. That is going to power the whole board with 5 volts. However, I'm also going to bring the buck regulator over, module, sorry, and I'm going to put its positive and negative probably in 2. The reason I'm doing that, you're like, why would you do that? Now all that is paralleled voltage, and it'll be okay, nothing's going to blow up. 2 reasons. 1, the Omnibus F3 has a lousy fucking 5 volt regulator in it. It's terrible. They blow up all the time. I've lost quads out of the sky. So what I do with these, if you flip it over on the bottom, here's your 5 volt regulator. I actually cut it off the board. There's a leg normally here and a leg normally here. Center's not. I cut this regulator so there's nothing connected. Okay? Well, yeah. The reason I do that, that little regulator gets hot. Okay? That's one thing. Heat, whenever you have heat on anything, it's a waste of energy. It sucks your battery, it's hard on your components, it's crap, and with the Omnibus F3, this is just temporary, the way I'm putting that in, and with the Omnibus F3, that regulator will fail eventually. But the reason I'm powering it twice, the reason I'm going to bring the 5 volt reg to here and the motor, the ESC to here, is because if for some reason you blow an ESC while you're flying, okay, think about it. This is something we don't deal with in quads anymore. We used to way back in the day, but if you blow your ESC or your ESC overheats and shuts down, bam, you lose it all. Now, if this was a normal wing, that might not be too bad, because if the ESC comes back on, you can recover. But the problem is, since this is a drone wing, you have all this equipment. You got the GPS, you got iNav booting up in the background, you got all this stuff. So if this goes bad, the entire bird falls from the sky and you're never going to fucking find it. So this will be a backup, this buck regulator here. Now, the nice thing about this is, this buck is getting fed directly off of battery. If you'll remember, we wired this right into the power distribution board, which is a continuity circuit going right from the battery to the buck regulator. So if, for some reason, I lost it all on the ESC, I can still glide. I still have FPV, I still have everything. So, you know, yeah, it's grasping. I'm not saying it's a perfect scenario, but either way. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hot glue these, make sure they're copacetic and nice. I'm going to take the 5-volt input supply of both servos, run them together, put them into this buck over here. Then we are going to wire in our battery voltage into our board as well. Then we're going to take our input for this one goes into motor output 3, this one goes into motor output 4. Like I said before, it's going to go into motor 1. We're going to leave camera disconnected because there's no, or video, because there's no point. Yeah, and then we're going to fire it up and see if it blows up. And believe it or not, that's just about everything but the camera and the GPS module. There's not a lot to it. It's not rocket science. So let me solder that stuff up, neaten this up a little bit, and I'll be right back. Bam. Bam, and we're back. Okie dokie. So here's what we've got. Sorry, this doesn't look better, but we have not neatened everything up yet. This is not a gallery build. You got to remember, this is all going to be covered up. But we are going to neaten up these wires tomorrow, stuff where it can go, blah, blah, blah. So what I did, I connected the VTX. I put a temporary antenna on it. I will not be using that antenna. We wired the bucks. This is the servo power. This is board power. Then we did our motor input. Again, I'm going to show you on here one more time. Okay, it's just easier. Our S-bus receiver, wonk. Our S-bus receiver is going to go here for input, positive, negative. Then we wired in the motor ESC signal here, motor ESC power and negative. Then down here on positive and negative on M2, I brought this buck regulator in. Then on motor 3, we did this side servo. Motor 4, this side servo. We hot glued the connections for the, I did cut down the extensions. They're not that long anymore. We will neaten this up again tomorrow. And we also wired in the battery voltage leads into the board here, which came third down in the center is battery voltage and ground. Did I miss anything? Ah, fuck. All right. Nothing like to smoke. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do our good old-fashioned prostate check. So put your meter, $4,000 battery checker, your meter on continuity. Bam. And then stick your probes. This is usually a Bardwell job, probing the plug, but, you know, whatever. He ain't here. Should get 1 beep. Yep, good. No short. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to plug it in. Now, what we should hear the motor ESC. We should see lights on this board. We should see the VTX light up. And you should hear the servos. Those might be kind of hard to hear because, it is. Let's give it a shot. Yep, we're good. I heard them if you didn't. So we've got our voltage here. I'm sorry. Our VTX. We're getting that signal on the ESC because there's no receiver, nothing set up. Yeah, motor's clicking. That's cool. Nothing's smoking on our board. Everything's good. All right, cool. So tomorrow what we're going to do, so this doesn't get too long and boring, I'm going to disconnect this for now. What we're going to do, we're going to take a camera, stick it in yaw. We're going to neaten up the wiring. We're going to put in our GPS, which will take 5 seconds. That's easy enough. Neaten everything up, and I think finish physically the bird, and then we'll move on to the iNav, and then that'll be the 4th video probably, and the 5th video will be the the flight. Ha ha ha. So, and then we're going to place the antenna and stuff. There's a lot of little shit we got to do yet. But for the most part, that's it. It's pretty simple. Looks like crap right now, but we'll make it pretty and prettier. Like I said, the C1 Chaser has a nice little hood. You ain't even going to see it. It's going to be cool. So, until the next time, kiddos, bam. Keep shining side up. Take care. Bye.
Bam, JJ!
Bam, JJ! Hope you like fishing.